The numbers are staggering. His assistants won 6 Super Bowls, 5 college national championships, and more than 40 conference titles. His award continues to post impressive numbers, too. Since the award's inception in 1996, more than 40 finalists have become head coaches. And currently, 20% of all head coaches at major colleges are Broyles Award winners or finalists.
The ball carrier thinks he's going to make some more yards like that, and so he's going to be a great one.
Coach's incredible legacy extends beyond football. His playbook for Alzheimer's caregivers has impacted millions of people all over the world. And proceeds today go to support the mission of Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation, supporting caregivers in crisis at no cost. We lost Coach in 2017. But today, the Broyles Foundation is honored to welcome college football's top assistant coaches, chosen from a pool of more than 1,500 coaches nationwide. This is the Broyles Award ceremony.
The Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation, along with Riceland Foods, presents the 24th Annual Broyles Award, honoring the top assistant coaches in college football. And now, here are your hosts, KATV's Steve Sullivan and Kyle Deckelbaum.
Well, good afternoon, and for an assistant coach doesn't get any bigger than this. Utah, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, Baylor, the cream of the crop. You ready to go?
We're ready to go.
The assistants are lined up right there, 5 of the best in the country. Let's go inside to meet our 5 finalists for the 2019 Broyles Award. Well, apparently we're calling an audible now that they're not ready to go.
We're going to wait just a few minutes and we're going to see them walk in very soon. Sully, how special is this, not just for these coaches, but for the entire city of Little Rock? It's become, I think, one of the best traditions we have here at Channel 7 is partnering with the Broyles Foundation. As we'll see over the next 90 minutes, it's not just about honoring these coaches. There's a greater cause at stake in supporting the Broyles Foundation.
And two, part of his legacy, not only assistant coaches, but it was with the caregivers for Alzheimer's. And you talk at these coaches, and what does it mean to Morgan Scally now to have Broyles Award finalist on his resume?
Listen, Broyles, it goes a very long way. Forever you'll be referred to as a Broyles Award finalist. One person will be referred to as a Broyles Award winner, and it's something that's very, very special. We got the trophy back here, by the way. This is a typical David Basil trophy. Represented here today, Sully, we have 5 of the top 11 teams in the final college football rankings.
And the big surprise when you talk about college football and all the points that are scored, we have 4 defensive coordinators, and you're right in front of the only offensive coordinator, and he's the boy wonder, Joe Brady, who has just lit up college football.
And he's not the only young guy here today. He's 31. Dan Lanning is in his early 30s as well. There's a theme, a lot of really young guys. Scally's been around Utah for a long time, but the total exception here is Phil Snow. Who has been around all over college football and having success. And what's amazing, he's stepped in here. I think that's another trend we're seeing.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are first year at their program.
And how about today? These guys are used to being in the background. Now the spotlight isn't on them. In some schools, now at Arkansas, they make the assistants available. Some schools you never hear from the assistants, and
a lot of places they
have these big pictures. And it's neat to see a coach like Jeff Hafley and his wife come over and take a picture with a big Jeff Hafley.
Hafley, a guy who has worked in the NFL for much of his career, still comes here and wants to take a picture in front of the big banner.
His best friend happens to be the head coach, Ryan Day, at Ohio State. All right. They've signaled us. They're now ready for the finalists. Let's go inside and meet our 5 finalists for the 2019 Broyles Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 Broyles Award, honoring America's top assistant coaches and benefiting the Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation. Please turn your attention to the back of the ballroom for our special guest introductions. We start with this first-team All-American and Outland Trophy winner for Jackie Sherrill's Pitt Panthers. He later was a first-round draft choice for the Washington Redskins, where he became a 2-time Super Bowl champion under head coach Joe Gibbs and was named one of the 70 greatest Redskins of all time. Please welcome back to the Broyles Award, Mark May. Next, we keep with our 24-year tradition of welcoming back our previous year's Broyles Award winner. After leading Alabama to a record-setting year as offensive coordinator and winning the Broyles Award, he left Little Rock and one day later was named head coach for the Maryland Terrapins. Please welcome back Maryland head coach Mike Locksley. Now it's time to meet the 2019 Broyles Award finalist. Our first finalist is the defensive coordinator of the 11-2 and 7th-ranked Baylor Bears, who will be taking on the 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs in the Sugar Bowl on New Year's Day. Please welcome Baylor defensive coordinator Phil Snow. Our next Broyles Award finalist is the defensive coordinator of the 11-2 and 5th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, who will be squaring off against Phil Snow's Baylor Bears on January the 1st in the Sugar Bowl. Please welcome Georgia defensive coordinator Dan Lanning. Our next Broyles Award finalist is the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach for the 13-0 and number 1 ranked LSU Tigers, who will be in Atlanta on December the 28th to take on the 4th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners in the semifinals of the college football playoff. Please welcome LSU's Joe Brady. Our next finalist is the defensive coordinator for the 2nd-ranked and 13-0 Ohio State Buckeyes, who will be in Glendale, Arizona on December the 28th to battle the 3rd-ranked Clemson Tigers in the semifinals of the college football playoff. Please welcome Buckeye defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. And our last finalist is the defensive coordinator of the 11th-ranked and 11-2 Utah Utes, who will close out their season against the Texas Longhorns on December the 31st in the Alamo Bowl. Please welcome Utah defensive coordinator Morgan Scally.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause for your 2019 Broyles Award finalist.
All right, now all 5 of them can take a deep breath and sit back for a few
About 20 minutes, yeah.
But how about their first impression when they walk in that room?
It's as outdoes himself every single year, and you walk over that rug that you saw there of all the past finalists. It's an incredible group of names. We got another big name here. We have Mark May coming up. Much more coming up here on the 2019 Broyles Award.
Still to come on the 2019 Broyles Award ceremony.
It's an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to come back to Little Rock and be involved in such a distinguished award as the Broyles Award.
Mark May joins us live. Plus, we spend time with the Broyles family. See how Coach left a lasting legacy off the field. Then, USA Today's George Schroeder stops by, his take on the Razorbacks. And later,
really a dream come true for me.
The 5 finalists step to the microphone. Don't miss the moving stories behind these coaches on the rise. Who will win the 2019 Broyles Award? Find out as the ceremony continues, live from Little Rock.
Here's a look inside the ballroom. What a spectacular setting to honor 5 of the nation's top assistant coaches at the Broyles Award. We are joined by one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever play the game, Mark May. I want you to dial back. And by the way, I'm going to make you an honorary Little Rock resident. You come to this event every year.
I should pay taxes here.
But to your days at the University of Pittsburgh, and you can relate to these guys because you were named an Outland Trophy winner, and one of these guys will be named a Broyles Award winner. What is it like to be named the best in your in your area?
What you do.
Yeah.
Well, it's very humbling because you really don't realize how much it is and how important it is to you. Because down the road, you're going to realize it. But at the time, it's like you're very nervous because it's like, okay, I'm getting this award now. What do I do next? So what's my greatest accomplishment? It's the next one that's coming up. As an athlete and as a coach, that's what you look for. It's like the things that happen to you at that time, you don't really realize how important they are because you're always going for the next goal, the next goal, and the next goal. But now at my age, I can look back at things, and I think the older I get, the better I was.
I think every year you grow closer and closer to this award. What brings you back every year?
Because the people here are great. Baz and the Arnold family treat me extremely well, and when they ask for anything with Coach Broyles, it's an honor for me to come back. So if they ever need anything, I was at the Drive and Die this year up in Fayetteville, and that was a lot of fun this summer. And I'll go back to that again next year if I'm invited. So it's just anything I can do to help out.
We talk about this each year, but assistant coaches, and you can speak to this, have a closer relationship with players than a head coach will ever have.
Absolutely, because the head coach has to not only coach the players, the entire team, he's got to coach the coaching staff. So when I'm spending time on the football field and in the classroom, it's with my assistant coach. 99% of the time, I'm with that coach. So my relationship with him is extremely important. That's when I talked to these coaches last night. I let them know last night how much I appreciate what they do, because those are the guys that are working 6 in the morning till 8 at night, sometimes 10 at night, making sure that you're okay. Those are the coaches that are getting calls at like 2 o'clock in the morning when someone gets in trouble or somebody has a problem. Those are the coaches that are getting calls from the administrators if you don't show up for class. Those are the coaches that you want to go to if you have a personal problem. So it's extremely important that the assistant coaches get recognized, and I'm just great that they do this here for the Broyles.
You arrived in town Sunday night when news broke for the Razorbacks about Sam Pittman, and we used that on Sunday night of you talking with Baz, and I didn't know this, that Joe Gibbs was an offensive line coach. So it is possible that an offensive line coach would become a great coach.
Absolutely. Mario Cristobal for Oregon, look at him. How about John Madden? Not a bad former offensive line coach. So offensive line coaches can do it. I think for Sam, I think this is a great hire. It's not the sexy hire out there in the big name, but it's a guy that wants to be here. And if you look look back in the history of Alabama, when Nick Saban went back after Miami Dolphins, it wasn't like, oh, he's going to win all these national championships, but he was the right guy at the right time. And I think Sam is the right guy at the right time for Arkansas because he wants to be here. He's already bought in. He's been here before. He knows the culture. He knows how to recruit in the SEC. He's the guy for the job.
If you have an assistant coach out there and you give a shout out to that helped Mark May along the way, what would you say to him and who would it be?
Oh, it'd be a bunch of them. It would be Joe Bugle with the Washington Redskins. He ended up being my head coach at Arizona at the end of my career. It could be Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. He was an grad assistant coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Joe Moore was my offensive line coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Joe Pendry was my offensive line coach at the University of Pittsburgh for a couple of years. So there's a lot of coaches that I can go back that really helped my career, not only in college but in the NFL.
Where's this award stand nationally? There are so many of them out there now.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one, now it's been around for 24 years,
Yep.
really stands on its own merit.
It definitely does. And if you talk to anyone in the coaching fraternity and anybody that knows anything about football, particularly college football, they know that this is the #1 award for coaches. And coaches pay attention to this. That's why when a lot of administrators out there are looking for their next head coach, they're looking at who the finalist for the Broyles Award is.
We're so thankful to have you as part of this award. You've been a great addition.
Thanks, my pleasure. It's always good to come back and spend time with you
Anytime
guys.
you want to come and anchor one of our sportscasts, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, gladly have you on.
You would just tell Bass to get me in town a day early.
Hopefully no coaching news next time. We just focus on the award.
There you go. That's perfect. That'll be fun. Anytime, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Boy, is he not the greatest?
He is. Hey, we have much more coming up here in the 2019 Broyles Award.
There's no more fitting person to have his name on this award than Frank Broyles because of what he meant to coaching profession. Every day that we were on the practice field, he was not just coaching the players, but he was also coaching his assistants on how to be better at their craft. Each of our finalists are here because they have unique traits that have separated them from their peers in a profession that is competitive as any that exists in the world. You're here because you're leaders of men. You have the ability to influence hundreds of lives in a very positive way.
Plates out.
So will we had a Frank speech cold? That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so.
I want to thank David for all the work he's done
If they start
to put this together.
Hey, Kate.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey,
We'll be really quick. Hey, there's that extra 30 seconds there at the end for that wrap, Hey, but Caitlin, can you still hear me? We don't have Betsy and Molly with us right now. They're still up there. So we may switch and do George Schroeder here. Okay. Oh, hey, come on in. They're here. We got them. Yeah, come on. We'll just use these two, yeah.
I want to thank David for all the work he's done to put this together to honor the assistant coaches. He came to me with this idea many years ago, and I said, David, that's one of the wonderful things we can do is honor the assistant coaches to give them a national award. We didn't have a national award for an assistant coach, just regional awards. And so he started this, and you can see by the attendance every year, the acceptance of the Coaching Association and all. We're so proud of David. Let's give him a hand. Now, I'm not delaying, I'm sorry, but I had to say that. Thank you.
This is all about honoring Coach Broyles' legacy. We are so fortunate to have his daughter, Betsy, and her daughter, Molly, here. Hey, let's talk about this, especially in Coach's later years. How important was this event to him?
He loved this event. It was very important. Assistant coaches, are the backbone of every team, and so this award was extremely important to him.
Well, the Wilson Matthews high school coach is on the trophy with him, and he was not only the longest assistant from the state of Arkansas, so he loved this award, and we're so proud to have it in Little Rock every year.
It means a lot to have everybody here, and I know the one thing you guys stress to the coaches, as soon as you come to Little Rock, you're a member of the Broyles family. It's not just come once and leave. You are forever a part of this fraternity.
That's right. It's exciting. This is the 24th year, so we've got a lot of family members in the Broyles Award family. Yes, sir.
But you guys take such good care of them when they come too.
Oh, that's Southern hospitality. That's how my grandparents sort of wanted it. We still hear today ways that my grandmother took care of the coaches' wives, and so that's why we're here. That's what it's about.
An important part of his legacy is his playbook, Alzheimer's Caregivers, and the way that has blown up and the way you work hand in hand at this event with that playbook.
Yes, well, just like coaching, there's no substitute for good preparation. That's the same thing in caregiving. So we've been really honored to honor my grandpa's legacy on the field, but his work off the field too, to help caregivers.
How much has this award done to really help promote the playbook as well?
Well, I think it's brought national attention to our foundation and what we do, and that's important because, we're here to help caregivers and help families who are struggling with this disease.
What is this like today for you guys? You guys are there's a million things going on.
Today's been really calm.
Oh,
I think it's the most calm day. So I don't know what that means for later, but it's been really good up until this point.
What would your dad think of these assistant coaches now making hundreds of thousands of dollars? You guys have changed the way assistant coaches are thought of now.
Yes. Oh, I think he would be proud of that. A lot of times when they offered him a raise, he would give it to his assistants. So he definitely believes in assistant coaches and them getting paid.
You guys have done a great job as representatives of this award. I can't think of two better people to carry on Dad's legacy and Granddad's legacy.
This really has become our favorite thing to partner with you guys. This is so much fun. Really
Thank you guys for what you do.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it. We're honored. It's an honor to do this.
Yeah, for us too.
Well, you were important people in there, so you got to get back in there.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Thank you. All right, much more coming up. We have George Schroeder from USA Today after this.
And welcome back to the Broyles Award pre-show. We are joined by one of the top writers, college football in all of America, George Schroeder of USA Today, and he's a local guy. He's a Razorback fan. He grew up over in Pleasant Valley. So first of all, have to get your opinion on the coaching hiring, first as a fan and then as a national writer.
Can I start out as a fan? It's just nice to see that they have a coach. They were one of the first out of the box, obviously, after firing Chad Morris, and it was a circuitous search.
That's a nice word.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with the right word. It's circuitous search. But Sam Pittman, I like the fact that he is enthusiastic, wants to be here, and he's a good recruiter. He has a tremendous reputation as a recruiter. And now the question is going to be, who's the staff? That's going to be really important. What's the strength of the staff? But it's cool that they have one, and anytime you do, it sort of allows people to sort of have a sense of optimism and enthusiasm going forward.
You're an insider. What can you tell us about that circuitous search?
They talk to a lot of people. Let's just put it this way. And yes, Lane Kiffin was one of those. Here's the problem with coaching searches, and you guys know this from covering them too, is you can talk to 5 different people on all sorts of ends. Like from my standpoint nationally, you can talk to agents and you can talk to coaches who are involved or want to be involved, and you can hear 5 different things. And that's before you start talking to the insiders inside an athletic department who might be talking to you too. And so it's so hard to sort of discern what actually happened and when is an offer and those kinds of things. But they talk to a lot of people, and Sam Pittman was wanting the job from the get-go and ended up with it, and now we'll see where it goes.
Let's talk about today. You talk to these coaches. What does this honor mean to an assistant coach?
So around the country, and this is one of the cool things, because I take great pride in the Broyles Award because, David Basil started it when I was still at the Democrat Gazette 24 years ago. And I remember it just being kind of this neat thing, and it was like, wow, they're going to have an assistant coach award. They're going to honor Coach Broyles. That's really cool. Since I've been in the business in the national end of things for this last decade or so, when you go places and you see these guys, they are excited about being nominated for the Broyles Award. It is a big deal inside football departments at schools. And when you're honored like this, even if you don't win it, these guys take it really seriously and they really love it. And so I love the fact that it's my hometown and I know the folk who have been involved with it for all these years.
We've even seen clauses in contracts if you are nominated for the Broyles Award. Incentives.
No question, and why shouldn't it be, right? I mean, if you're a head coach and you're the conference coach of the year or the Associated Press national coach of the year, you get some crazy amount of money as a bonus. Why shouldn't it be that way for an assistant coach? Why shouldn't his agent, and that's the funny thing, they all have agents now, slip that into the contract. But I don't know all of these guys. I know a little of them. But this is a great crew that they have. And that's true every year, right? We can say that every year. But these guys have truly been at the top of the profession this year.
Part of the Broyles legacy is family. You had the greatest little vignette on ESPN. Share with the jux of that story.
My dad, also named George Schroeder, is an eye surgeon here in town. And when I was 8 or 9, he took me to the Sugar Bowl to see Arkansas play Bear Bryant's Alabama team. And it was a really cool deal to go with my dad. Yeah. And Alabama won, so that wasn't so cool. But after the game, for whatever reason, they let everybody down on the floor of the Superdome. So we were on the field, and I was wearing a big plastic hog hat that we all know what those look like. But I'm talking about, if you ever see the ones that you see from the pictures of the big shootout, it was that vintage. It was old and ugly. They're much sleeker now. And I'm wearing it proudly as an 8 or 9-year-old boy out there, even though Arkansas had lost. And all of a sudden, it was gone. It was gone. And an Alabama college student or someone about that age had taken it and run to the other end of the field. And my dad chased him down and rescued my hog hat.
Incredible.
And so that's what football means to me. It's fathers and sons.
That's not the greatest
story.
Dad rules.
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate it. I love you.
And that's big for you to be on Channel 7, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's great to be.
We love having you here, George.
Really
thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I know David Basil appreciates you being here too, and covering this, and this could be fun.
You're picking a winner out of this 5?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, just now.
I think it'll be Joe Brady.
Okay.
Just the only offensive guy, and just given what's happened at LSU after all those years of no offense, and that being the thing that we all thought held them back, what they've done, it's not unprecedented around the country, but it is unprecedented at LSU and in the SEC. And I think it'll be him. Yeah. But if it's Jeff Hafley or Dan Lanning or any of these guys, it'll be a great honor.
Just remember that George Schroeder picked an LSU guy to win the Broyles Award. That's all everybody's going to remember.
All right, it is time. George, thank you. We appreciate it.
Appreciate
We're going to go live inside right now. Let's find out who wins the 2019 Broyles Award.
Live from the beautiful Marriott Hotel in downtown Little Rock, The Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation, along with Riceland Foods, presents the 24th Annual Broyles Award, honoring the top assistant coaches in college football, featuring our finalists: Baylor Defense Coordinator Phil Snow, Georgia Defensive Coordinator Dan Lanning, LSU Passing Game Coordinator Joe Brady, Ohio State Co-Defensive Coordinator Jeff Hafley, and Utah Defensive Coordinator Morgan Scalley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 2019 Broyles Award finalists.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2019 Broyles Award presented by Riceland Foods and benefiting the Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation and their mission of supporting Alzheimer's caregivers. We welcome those of you that are watching live on KTV, Channel 7 across the state of Arkansas, and all the fan bases across America that are watching through our streaming on broylesaward.com and our Facebook page. You know, it's going to be a great day of honoring the top assistant coaches and the legacy of Coach Broyles, while also helping the mission of the Broyles Foundation, of course, helping caregivers for those suffering from Alzheimer's. You know, it's always an honor when we have the governor of our state attend the Broyles Award. Great to have a governor that appreciates sports, and especially the legacy of the only one, Frank Broyles. Please give it up to our governor, the 46th governor, Governor Asa Hutchinson.
Thank you, David. It is my honor to be here and to extend a welcome to our honorees who, through their work, has demonstrated perseverance, hard work, and achieved success. And we celebrate that today. As many of you know in this audience, that some people compare politics and sports and see differences and similarities. And we do compare them when we find out that people love sports and hate politics. But seriously, America needs sports. America needs sports because we can witness, as we watch the sporting game, whether it's baseball or football, we can see the test of character among athletes whenever they, deep within themselves, dig for everything that they can, where their character is tested. And win or lose, we see how they handle defeat, we see how they handle victory as well. And so sports help shapes America, help shapes our country and how we see things in our lives. And the assistant coaches have such an incredible impact on young people. Everyone here in this room, including myself, can think back to a coach who mentored them, who made a difference in their life. And in sports, you have to, as I said, dig within yourself, but you also really have to have confidence in yourself to have success. And you have to understand teamwork. These assistant coaches play the most incredible role in building that self-confidence and building that teamwork, which we need on the sporting field and we also need in America. And so today, we salute these assistant coaches, but we also remember the legacy of Frank Broyles. And no one did it better than Frank Broyles in building that teamwork and building that confidence in individual athletes. I want to congratulate Molly and Betsy for their continued work with the Broyles Foundation and for this presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. Excellent words. Great to have you here again this year. The Broyles Award is also extremely honored to have Riceland Foods as our presenting sponsor. You know, our football program at the University of Arkansas has been struggling lately. We're going to get it going back in the right direction with the hiring of an assistant coach, offensive line coach, and Sam Pittman. I believe that. But we are number one in one thing here in Arkansas for sure, and that is rice milling and marketing in the world with Riceland Foods. We are number one in the world #1 in America, and we're so thankful to have Riceland Foods supporting the Broyles Award as our presenting sponsor. At this time, I'd like to welcome the Vice President of Marketing and Strategy for Riceland. Please welcome Ben Noble.
Thank you, David. And as I get started here this morning, and I will be brief, but the first word that comes to mind as I look out, as I was watching this unfold earlier, was really joy. I could see the coaches, the joy on their face is the success that they have been working towards is being recognized. I can see the joy on the families and loved ones that are so honored. They know, we all know, they're a critical part of why these gentlemen are sitting here today. And then as I looked down at the plate today and I saw that we had Riceland rice on it, and those of you who don't know, there's been a time or two that hasn't worked. I had so much joy that David had remembered to put that on the menu. So thank you.
We've got it every time now.
We're glad to be a part of this award. It's just so great to have y'all here. Family is the other link with Riceland, and we know in coaching, family and heritage and legacy all go together, and that's the same thing for our company. We have the pleasure of working for multi-generations of farmers that we get to market their goods all across the world. So we're glad to be a part of it. Congratulations, and enjoy that rice on the plate. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Ben. I know Coach Broyles will be proud to have Riceland involved with the Broyles Award. I know that. At this time, I'd like to invite the daughter and granddaughter of Frank Broyles, who both also run the Frank and Barbara Broyles Foundation. So they're busy running this foundation, helping caregivers of Alzheimer's patients, families, and such. But they also work extremely hard on this award. Please welcome Betsy Broyles Arnold and Molly Arnold.
Well, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here today. You know, caregiving is just like coaches. And if my dad were standing here today, he would tell you there is no substitution for good preparation. And at the Broyles Foundation, what we do is we prepare families and by giving them a game plan so they can be successful in this season in their lives. So thank you on behalf of the Broyles Award and the Broyles Foundation.
So this morning, we hosted a breakfast for the coaches' wives, and 3 families had been affected by Alzheimer's. And 2 weeks before my grandpa passed away, he didn't remember that he had won a national championship, but he looked at my mom and asked, "Is what I'm doing making a difference in the lives of people?" And that's why we're here today, not only to celebrate the success that these coaches have had on the field, but to celebrate the success and platform that they have off of the field. So congratulations, guys, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Bessie. Thanks, Molly. Also, thanks to Riceland Foods, we're doing something that we've never done before. This is the first time we've ever done it. We've decided to take the Broyles Award to the high school level. We are starting to honor the top high school assistant coach in every state. We're starting small, and we're going to grow this thing over time. But I'd like to recognize our 3 honorees for this year. We have 3 states, Alabama, Arkansas, and Texas. If you'll please stand when I call your name. The Alabama High School Broyles Award winner, Bert Newton, Defensive Coordinator, Hartselle, Alabama. Let's give it up for Bert. The Arkansas High School Broyles Award winner, from Boonville High School, Offensive Coordinator, Doc Crowley. And the Texas High School Broyles Award winner, Defensive Coordinator from Longview High School in Longview, Texas, Casey Pierce. So I think this would be something that Coach Broyles would be very proud of, to be able to now take this thing. And this was voted on by the peers in each state. We're not involved with that, but we look forward to having 50 states that honor the top assistant high school in every state. So thank you to Riceland Foods for allowing us to do that. One of our traditions that we've had every year is bringing back our previous year's winner. It's great to have Mike Loxley back with his wife, Kia. Remember, if you last year, after leading Alabama to a record-setting year as offensive coordinator, You won the Broyles Award, Coach, and one day later you left Little Rock and became the head coach for the Maryland Terrapins, and we're very excited about that. Please welcome our 2018 Broyles Award winner, Maryland head coach Mike Loxley.
First of all, I want to thank Betsy, Molly, Jeff, and David, along with all the Broyles Foundation members, for having me back. I want to thank my wife, Kia, who's here with me in attendance today, along with my family for their never-ending support and love as a college football coach. I also want to thank my administrators back at the University of Maryland, Dr. Lowe, Damon Evans, Colleen Sorum, who all have given me great support, along with the fans there at the University of Maryland. It's a dream come true for me to be able to go home after winning this award and get the job that I've always coveted. And so this award is really, really special to me in that it kind of opened up some doors that hadn't been opened before. Congratulations to the 5 finalists up here. All 5 of these guys are well deserving of this prestigious award, and they all have done a great job for their respective teams. As David said, almost a year ago, I landed back in Tuscaloosa after winning this award, and as I landed, I got a phone call, and my life changed forever, giving me the opportunity to go back and lead the football family of the team I grew up rooting for in the D.C. area. I grew up a Maryland Terrapin fan, and to have the opportunity to take over that program meant the world to me and my family. But what I also learned from my affiliation with this great award, I had the privilege to see it work firsthand. Betsy, Jeff, and David all came to visit the University of Maryland to give me the award, and they made an impact in my community. A family that is really near and dear to my heart, Jim Bland and Beverly Bland. Jim is struggling right now with Alzheimer's and dementia, and so I had talked to Betsy along with my wife Kia about maybe going down and helping Beverly to give her the game plan of what it takes to be a caregiver for a family member suffering with dementia. And not only did they go see Beverly, they went to St. Paul's United Methodist Church, and they put on a seminar for all of the elderly members of this church. And when they left, they opened up a Remember When dementia-friendly cafe that they meet twice a month at this church. And it's because of my affiliation with this great award and Coach Broyles and the Broyles Foundation to see the impact it's had in my community back home in Maryland. So again, thank you, Betsy, thank you, Molly, Jeff, and David, for all that you guys have done. Again, congratulations to the finalists. The best is ahead. Go Terps.
Boy, just hearing that story, Coach, that's outstanding. We appreciate you sharing that. That's really special, and I think hopefully that reminds us of while we're here, whether you were a sponsor, whether you bought tickets, whether you volunteered, we just want to do one thing. We want to help caregivers of Alzheimer's patients, and we want to honor the amazing legacy of Coach Broyles. And these 5 assistants, these 5 finalists, they know that now. They got a chance to be around it last night. They got a chance to be around it today. It's so great, these 5 finalists. We have them ranging in age from 63 to 30. One of our coaches has been coaching for 43 years. One of our coaches who's 30 has been coaching for 6 years. But the stories of all these coaches, it's so great, the stories of the struggle and the fight. But here they are, of 2,000 assistant coaches that are eligible every year, these are the final 5. And I told them how difficult it is to get here. The most objective award in college football is the Broyles Award because so many great jobs are done. And so we're really thrilled to have them, and you're going to be just blown away with how sharp these guys are today. So I want you to meet our 5 finalists, and the guy we bring in every year. You talk about unselfish. He's one of the greatest offensive linemen in college football history, a unanimous All-American, Allen Trophy winner for the Pitt Panthers, winner of 2 Super Bowl rings under Joe Gibbs, who was one of Coach Broyles' assistant coach, and just really a good guy who's here for one reason, because Coach Broyles meant something to him, and what the Broyles Foundation is doing means something to him as well. Never charges a penny, always here. The guy looks like he could still play, 6'6", and has about 3% body fat. The one and only, please welcome Mark May, everyone.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Jeff, David, Molly, Betsy for what you've done with the foundation. It's been phenomenal. I come back here and do this every year when I'm invited because it's a pleasure to come back to the great city of Little Rock, the great state of Arkansas. And Governor, I am not going to pay taxes. But I'm here to tell you what Frank Broyles meant to me. He's touched so many people, and his legacy still lives on today and will continue to live on. For me personally, at the University of Pittsburgh, 3 of my coaches, Pat Jones, Jimmy Johnson, and Jackie Sherrill, came through the Frank Broyles coaching tree. When I was a freshman at the University of Pittsburgh, I was fortunate enough to start a football game on ABC, and Coach Broyles broadcast that game and said some great things about me on television. So back in the day where most of you people out there are listening, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have social media, we had to do it the old-fashioned way, we had to write a letter. So I wrote a letter to Coach Broyles thanking him for what he said about me on the air. And lo and behold, he took the time out from his busy schedule and sent me a letter back, a motivation letter, telling me to keep doing what I'm doing, keep working hard, and it was very inspirational for me. That's how he touched me at a very young age. And not only that, when I went to the Washington Redskins as a draft pick, Joe Gibbs, my head coach. Where did he come from? Arkansas and Frank Broyles. After my Washington Redskin career, my NFL career, I get into television, working with Lou Holtz. Where does he come from? Arkansas. So everything goes, the circle is right here. But what I want to say is Coach Broyles probably looking down right now and smiling because of the great things that his daughter and granddaughter and Jeff and everyone's associated with this great foundation. They've done so much, and they'll continue to do so much. But today we're here to celebrate the coaches and what they've been able to do. These 5 coaches, their phenomenal careers, has been amazing. And I've gone through their resumes, and some of the things they've done you're going to find out today, and you're going to really appreciate what they've done because they've had an incredible season, incredible careers. So with that said, let's get to it. Our first finalist from the Baylor Bears, Coach Phil Snow, has had 4 decades of coaching at every level, starting off at high school, community college, 1AA, FBS, Power 5, Group of 5, the NFL. There's nothing that he hasn't done. He's so smart and intelligent, his players affectionately nickname him Yoda because of all the experience that he has and what he's able to contribute defensively. So with that said, on a great year for the Baylor Bears, and not only that, I have to go back and say one thing. 3 years ago, they were 1-11. Last year, 7-6. This year, 11-2, playing in the Big 12 championship game, and now they're going to a Group of 6 bowl game. So with that said, let's get to the videotape.
Phil Snow, defensive coordinator, Baylor.
Where are your eyes supposed to be? Thank you. Here we go.
My first question after looking at Phil Snow's resume, why hasn't this man been a finalist before? Included in his 36 years of coaching is orchestrating impressive turnarounds at UCLA, Temple, and Arizona State. Year 3 at Baylor has been magical for Phil Snow. They made big jumps in every major statistical category. They went from being ranked 8th in scoring defense in the Big 12 last season to 1st this year. And in yards per play, Snow's Bears went from 10th last season to number 1 in the Big 12. And his Bear defense is a big play defense. They are 3rd in the country in interceptions, 8th in fumble recoveries, and 9th in sacks. Looking at the big picture, Phil Snow has completely transformed the Baylor defense, making it a top 25 defense nationally. Today, the Broyles Award Committee says better late than never. Please welcome Broyles Award finalist, Baylor Defensive Coordinator Phil Snow.
Thank you. And by the way, I'm the 163. All right. You saw my poster out there. I can't believe I look like that now. I used to look like these guys up here, but not anymore. Over the 43 years I've coached, I've moved 8 major moves. And you cannot do that without a terrific lady behind you. So I'd like to introduce my wife, Deborah. And where are you, Deborah? Right there. And sitting next to her is my son, Philip, my oldest son. And this has been a fantastic year for our family. So my youngest boy is in Detroit. I wanted him to come, but his wife is 6 days away from having our first grandson. So I can't be happier and really excited about that. You know, I watched Coach Broyles coach. And he would be really proud of a story I'm going to tell you about Baylor. I think he would be really proud of this football team. So Coach Rule came to Baylor in 2017. He had a chance to take the Oregon job or the Baylor job. And he chose Baylor. Matt Rule is the head coach, and his dad was a minister. And they spent a lot of time in New York City helping people. And so he felt that it was his they needed Matt Rule to come to Baylor and turn around what you guys have all read about the problems at Baylor that they had 3 years ago. So we chose to come to Baylor over the Oregon thing. And by the way, I had a lot of coaches call me and say, "Are you guys nuts? What are you doing?" So here's what we did. We went in there and 41 players left between Broyles and us. Now think of that. You only have 85 scholarships. 41 players left. All right? And so we ended up playing our first year 20 freshmen. And in the old school ball coaches used to tell me, for every freshman you play, you lose a game. Well, we lost almost all of them. Yeah, we accomplished that. So, but the following year, we came back and went 7-6 and won a bowl game a year ago. And then this year, we ended up 11-1 in the regular season and really came a play away from being in the Final Four. We're the only FBS team in the history of college football that have gone from 1-11 to 11-1. Okay? Just think about that in all those years that we've played college football. So as a coaching staff, I'm more proud of our team. Not the wins and not the losses, but for what they've come through. And I want to thank the seniors from 2017 when we were 1-11. I want to thank the seniors when we were 7-6. And I want to thank the seniors this year because they stayed with us. 41 of them left. They chose to stay. And this senior group this year, I'll never miss a group more than this group. And I don't think anybody on our coaching staff, for what they've gone through and what they've been called and how they've been treated on campus, if you know the history of what happened at Baylor. And they've come a long ways. And, we're more interested in the development of people than we are winning football games. And I think that's what Coach Broyles was. He was a teacher, all right? And a teacher molds and guides. And you find out how good a job you did with a young man 20 years later. Okay, after they're done playing, and you look at them after 20 years and what they're doing. That's when you judge what type of coaching job you've done. And I think Coach Broyles would be really proud of this Baylor team of 2019. And I want to thank the Broyles family. I want to thank David and everybody involved. This has been a terrific, I've been on the list 6 times, but they would never invite me to this. So this has been a lot of fun. And these guys up here, the other 4 are terrific young coaches, and they're going to win a lot of football games and probably all be head coaches. And so my hat's off to them, and thank you very much. Go Bears.
Wow, that's a tough act to follow. Our next finalist is Dan Lanning, the Georgia defensive coordinator. I've got to tell you a story about Dan. He wanted to be an FBS coach so bad. He packed up all his belongings. He drove to the city of Pittsburgh, which is obviously where I played my college football, and camped out in front of the coach's office until they let him in to get an interview. He worked 6 months for free as a grad assistant. If that doesn't tell you much about a guy that wants to be a coach in the FBS, if you've seen this Georgia Bulldogs team, 11 hats to the ball, fighting for the ball, salty defense. Not only that, if you looked at his defense this year, they didn't give up more than 20 points in a game the entire regular season. So that being said, let's get the videotape.
Dan Lanning, defensive coordinator, Georgia.
Work day, work day, work day, work day, Tyson, work day.
Ask the Georgia defensive players, and they'll tell you no one brings the juice like Coach Lanning. His energy has juice like Coach Lanning. His energy has been contagious. In his first season calling the shots for the Dog D, Georgia has gone from being a very good defense to being among the nation's best. Dan Lanning's Dog D leads the SEC in rushing defense, pass defense, total defense, and scoring defense. And nationally, the Dog defense is second in rushing defense and scoring defense, third in red zone defense, and fourth in both total defense and first down defense. They held 11 opponents to 17 points or less and posted 3 shutouts. Dan Lanning's coaching career has taken him to Sam Houston State, Pittsburgh, Arizona State, Alabama, and Georgia. Today, Dan Lanning is in Little Rock to join a very special fraternity.
Turn and go. Change of direction. Speed.
Georgia defensive coordinator Dan Lanning is a Broyles Award finalist.
Thank you very much. Extremely humbled to be standing up here in front of everyone. I can't thank the Broyles Foundation enough. David, Betsy, and Molly for your time. Jeff, this organization has truly been first class in everything that I've got to experience in my time here with my wife and myself. But sitting here, it's really hard for me to sit here and express myself being deserving of this award. I can think of a lot of people that are really deserving of this award involved in my life. And number one is my wife over there, Sophia. She should be the one up here giving this speech. She's been a stud for me since the beginning. You know, even laughing, it wasn't quite free, Mark. We worked for $800 a month there for 6 months, so we were getting paid pretty good. But she was pregnant with a 1-year-old, so that was the crazy part. But we made it work, and she battled through cancer. She battled through being mom and dad. And I couldn't be more proud of her for making the sacrifices she's made for our family. You know, sharing the stage with these guys, these finalists for this award, is pretty amazing. Realizing the things that they've done as assistant coaches. Obviously, Coach Broyles took a lot of pride in assistant football coaches, and I know every one of us is extremely grateful for his emphasis on assistant coaches and recognizing them. There's probably not. In fact, I know there's not a more gratifying award in the nation than the Broyles Award when it comes to an award for an assistant coach. You know, other people who are deserving of this award are our players. This season, we took on the mantra of being the no-name defense. We didn't care who got the recognition. We wanted to play hard for the guy next to us, for the love of the game. And our guys embraced that through and through. It's hard for me to imagine anybody that works as hard as our guys. We push them to the ever end, and they take every bit of coaching and work their ever-living tails off for us. You know, we played a lot of young guys this year, and for us, we always just told them, hey, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And they took on that mantra. They went out and worked every day, and were able to do some phenomenal things on the field that surprised us even as coaches. So extremely grateful to our players, even more grateful to our assistant coaches, you know, Glenn Schumann, Trey Scott, Charlton Warren. They share in this award for me. There's no way that I'd be standing here as the leader of the Georgia defense if it wasn't for their work, their leadership, the way they take accountability for their room, and the effort that their guys play with. This is as much their award, the University of Georgia's award, as it is mine. You know, there's several other people that I could go on to thank. You know, for me as a young coach, you know, there's moments like this past season. You know, one of the moments that stick out to me is playing in the Notre Dame game. It's coming down to the final drive. You know, we're a team that likes to match personnel. We want to run the right personnel out on the field to match what a team's going to do offensively, and we're in the huddle, and it's the last defensive play of that game. We run out the personnel on the field. We give them the call, let them know what we're going to run, and I realize about halfway through that we've got one of the wrong guys running on the field. And there's 93,000 people. The atmosphere is electric. And I run out into the middle of the field to grab the guy and pull him back, and it's a timeout. But as I'm running back to the sideline to get the right guy in, I can see Coach Smart saying, "You can't do that. What are you doing?" And I'm sitting there realizing to myself, dang, I was an elementary PE school teacher not that long ago. How did I sneak my way into the middle of this field? Vince Dooley Field, Sanford Stadium, on one of the biggest stages in college football. Unbelievably blessed and fortunate. You know, coaches have always made a big impact on my life. Going back to my 7th grade PE teacher, Ken Simmons, Rob Bowers, my high school coach, the coaches that coached me in college. Grateful for a guy like Todd Graham to give me an opportunity in college football when nobody else would. Opportunity to work for guys like Coach Saban, and I can't say enough good things about Kirby Smart and what he's done for my career, putting trust in me, and every day, you know, both of my parents are teachers, and I grew up a lifelong learner, and always had the expectation that if I can learn from it, then I can become better at what I do professionally. And there isn't a day that I go into the Georgia football office that I don't learn something from Coach Smart, don't learn something from our assistant coaches. Don't learn something from our players, and that's what's exciting to me. You know, we get to influence kids, We get to influence players, and everybody talks about the impact we have on players. I know I speak for every coach up here. Players have an impact on us. It tugs at our heart to get to work with the guys that we get to work with every day, especially when they lay it on the line for us in a violent sport. And that's what I'm truly appreciative of. I'll say this. I tell our players every day, look, if you go and you do something in life that you're passionate about, you'll never work a day in your life. And I can say that I'm extremely blessed to be that person that's never worked a day in my life. I get to coach a great game of football, and I'm ecstatic to do it and grateful to everybody that's given me an opportunity to do that. So thank you so much. Appreciate the award, and thank you for your time.
Our next finalist is passing coordinator and wide receiver coach from LSU, the #1 team in the country right now. If you watch the LSU offense this year, you were probably amazed, like everyone else, how dominant they were throwing the football, running the football, and particularly passing the football with quarterback Joe Burrow, a quarterback that basically came out of nowhere. And that's because of offensive passing coordinator Joe Brady. Not only that, Joe Brady, to me, if you look at him, since 2013, he's gone from William & Mary, Penn State, New Orleans Saints, LSU. If he was a stock, he'd be like Tesla. You'd go out and buy it today. With that being said, our next coach, our next finalist, Joe Brady.
Joe Brady, passing game coordinator, LSU.
It was a hire that changed the direction of LSU football. The boy wonder, Joe Brady, charged with teaching and installing a new spread offense. The results in year one, staggering. The 2019 LSU offense is the first in SEC history to have a 4,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and 2 1,000-yard receivers. The Tigers, under Brady's new spread attack, shattered the school record for points scored. They scored 50 or more points in 6 games. And this new Tiger offense strikes quickly. 57 of their 74 touchdown drives lasted less than 3 minutes. And that other Joe in the LSU offense, Joe Burrow, has been spectacular under Joe Brady's direction. Burrow is the first player in SEC history to throw for 4,000 yards and have 40 TDs in a season. No SEC quarterback has ever had a season like Joe Burrow is having. Today, Joe Brady makes more history. He's the first-year assistant coach to be honored by the Broyles Award. Please welcome the boy wonder, Joe Brady of LSU.
Wow, I'm incredibly humbled to be up here right now. I want to thank God. God had a plan for me this year that was bigger than my dreams, and I'm just so grateful for his love, for his grace, and his direction. I want to thank the Broyles Foundation, the family. What an incredible experience this has been. It's hard to really put into words. 3 years ago, I was a graduate assistant at Penn State getting ready for a bowl game. Now I'm up here. I don't feel worthy. I want to congratulate these finalists. I'm the only offensive guy up here right now, obviously Coach Locks, but, I think it speaks to the volume, how great these coaches are, because it is hard to be a defensive coach in today's football. My life is easy, especially when you have a guy like Joe Burrow, but, when you have all these guys up here from a defensive coordinator perspective, they challenge us, and I told them last night, I appreciate them for pushing me, for motivating me. These are the guys that I study in the off season. These are the guys that I look forward to going against them in future matchups and challenges, and I'm just grateful to be up here and share the stage with them. I'm honored to be a finalist here, just to be associated with something with Coach Broyles and everything that he stood for and what he brought to this profession. And the more I was able to learn about him in the last 24 hours, this is just, it humbles me. It's so special to me, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. I'd like to thank my girlfriend, Lauren. You can stand up, babe. Let's appreciate you. I'm so thankful for her love, for her understanding, and like I said last night, we have this is our first step, on our road together, and I'm so I look forward to our journey together and the ups and downs of this profession that's going to come. But I'm grateful to be able to do it with you. My family, the best thing about being a part of this Broyles, the foundation, being up here is just the family-oriented that they are. And, I'm truly grateful to be, surrounded by such a great family. My parents, my dad, Joe, my mother Jody and my sister JC. You know, they worked so hard to give me of the life that they felt like I deserved, and you know, I can only hope to be the parents that they were. You know, my father, they're my rocks. You know, my father, you know, he coached me growing up. You know, I was a coach's son, but he didn't treat me like that. You know, he pushed me, he made me work hard, you know, and he showed me the love for this game. It's hard to really put it into words. You know, but he's still, you know, I'm fortunate to still have him around, and no matter what time I leave work, whether it's midnight, 10 p.m., 2 a.m., no matter what time it is, depends if I'm playing Dan or whatnot, 2 a.m. But you know, no matter what time I call him, no matter what coast he's on, you know, he picks up, and all he wants to do is talk about, you know, how practice went, you know, talk about our upcoming opponent, give some of his thoughts. You know, this year, you know, he gave me a thought, and I told him it was old school thought, and that did not go too well with him. You know, but I tell you guys all that because I'm one of the very fortunate that gets to stand up here and gets to, you know, live out his own dreams. But I'm also the very fortunate that I get to live my own dreams, but I also get to live my dad's dreams. And I take that to heart, and it means a lot to me to be able to live my dreams and walk his steps, and just to have him a part of it, you know, throughout the way. So I'm so grateful and thankful for him. You know, I want to thank LSU, Coach Orgeron, our players. You know, Coach O took a chance on a assistant to an assistant in the New Orleans Saints. You know, nobody had ever heard of my name, and you know, I really liked it that way. I was able to just learn a lot of football and learn from the best, and he took a chance on me. And it means a lot to me, and the passion that Coach O has for, you know, the state of Louisiana and the culture that he has built, you know, I'm truly honored to be able to be a part of it. My players, you know, like they always say, you know, we're only good coaches when we have good players, and right now I'm coaching some amazing players, and you know, having the ability of a guy like Joe Burrow, and you know, some of the, you know, I have a couple of receivers and running backs that are going to be up for some of these awards, and they make us look good, make us look a lot better than we really are. And you know, I'm just truly fortunate to be able to coach such a great group of men that just have such a passion for football and just love being coached hard. And then, you know, I have to talk about my offensive staff. You know, I got to give a shout out to my other receiver coach, Mickey Joseph, and then my right-hand man, DJ Mangus, and then our offensive coordinator, Steve Ensminger. You know, I feel like I'm sharing the stage right now with Steve Ensminger. This name, it should say Joe Brady / Steve Ensminger. You know, his openness and his humility to be able to, you know, allow me to come in here, a young guy, and be able to, you know, share a vision with him and create an offense with him. It's something that I hope when I'm his age, I'm going to be able to do the same. You know, I've embraced his slinger mentality, and I'm truly grateful for that. And then, you know, I'm just humbled to be up here right now and just be. I'm grateful, and you know, I appreciate everybody, and you know, just taking me in and allowing to get to know me and having the opportunity to get to know these great men and these coaches, and you know, it's been such a special time for me, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Our next finalist is co-defensive coordinator and secondary coach from the Ohio State Buckeyes, Jeff Hafley. Jeff has NFL experience, we know that. He's got a pedigree in the NFL, but what he was able to bring to the Buckeyes in one season, the discipline, the accountability. If you saw this Buckeye defense play this year, you were very impressed with what they did from the back end to the front end. He's one of the main reasons why the Buckeyes are back in the playoff this season. So without further ado, let's see the video.
Jeff Hafley, co-defensive coordinator, Ohio State.
Do that drill. There's some guys who weren't taking the field. You take the field as an attitude to let them know what's coming all day long. Do you understand me? Don't ever do that again.
Those close to the Ohio State program will say the most important call Ryan Day made when he was named head coach was to his friend Jeff Hafley. What Hafley has done in just one season at Ohio State is amazing. The Buckeyes went from being an average defense last season to being the nation's best this season. Hafley's Ohio State D has allowed less yards per game, 232, than any other team in the country. And they don't allow many points. Teams are scoring less than 12 points a game against the Buckeye D. And pick your poison. They are elite against both the pass and run. They are ranked 4th nationally in rushing defense and 2nd in pass efficiency, and they get after the quarterback. They are 2nd nationally in sacks. They lead the Big Ten in just about every major defensive category. Back in 2001, Jeff Hafley was coaching running backs at Worcester Polytech. This afternoon, we honor him as a Broyles Award finalist. Please welcome Broyles Award finalist, Ohio State co-defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley.
I'm a little shorter than Boy Wonder, so I'll adjust this. They get the #1 ranking, and then he goes right before me, so I appreciate that. There's a lot of people to thank, and this is kind of just going to flow out however it does, so just bear with me. To the Broyles family and the Broyles Foundation, we all thank you, and to all the sponsors, we thank you. You know, we didn't really know a lot about this, but to me, learning about Coach Broyles, it's more than coaching, which is all this really is. It's about family, and it's about helping people, and that's what makes it special. Sorry, there's a lot of emotion because we've all been through a lot. And just thinking back to some of the things that on that video, just grateful and humbled to be part of these guys right here. And I mean that. And I want to thank my wife, Gina. Stand up. You guys, I said this last night, but you don't realize what a wife has to do in our profession. The wives do, but a lot of people don't. We're not home. We barely see our kids. We pick houses and hope they like them, and that's the truth. We don't unbox things, they do. We come home and the house is ready. The beds are made. My 1-year-old calls me mom. I mean, that's the truth. I said that last night. So again, this isn't about us. It's about people. It's about my wife. And this isn't usually like me, so I'm not sure why, but if you could put in the emotion of what we've been through, sleeping in offices, trying to get a job, coaching at WPI, making $2,500, like we shouldn't be here, but we are because of people, and it's appreciated. And I got to thank Ryan Day and the staff we have. Greg Madison, like Joe was saying, Greg Madison should be next to me here. We did this together. Al Washington, Larry Johnson, Matt Barnes. We got a really good staff, and we have really good players. And players, really, honestly, they make us pretty good. And we have really good players. We have a great head coach, and we have a great university. And I was in the NFL the last 7 years, and I never thought I'd come back to coaching college football. I didn't. I wanted to be a coordinator. I wanted to be an NFL head coach. Something brought me back, and it's the best decision I ever made because we won a lot of games. We played really good defense, but the best story that I could share with you was we beat Nebraska, and one of my players had 2 interceptions or 3 interceptions, and he stood up in front of the group and he said, "Jeff Halfway changed my life." And that's why we do what we do. This is nice, guys. It is. You know, going to the playoffs, it's great, but we change lives, and there's so much honor in that. And to be able to take an 18 and 19-year-old and change his life and help him down the road for his life, that's what it's all about. And we all want to win, but there's so much more important than that. So we appreciate all you guys coming out and supporting us. And now that I kind of compose myself, I can kind of talk a little bit better. So, but I said this last night, and I said this to these guys, like, just to be nominated is good. Whether we win this or lose this experience we'll never forget. Your hospitality we'll never forget. And I got a minute left. The final person I want to thank is my mom, because she's watching. And she'll probably be busting me a little bit. And like Joe said, it's nice to have, your father. Mine's not alive, but I know he's watching. But it's incredible what this game brings, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And our next finalist is defensive coordinator Morgan Scally, and safeties from Utah. I live west of the Mississippi. Most of you obviously don't, so I'm a Pac-12 guy now, unfortunately for the SEC people. But Pac-12 at night, we get the games late. And if you get an opportunity to watch Utah is now the Pac-12 South champions. They played in the Pac-12 championship game, and if you watch their defense, not this past year, but over the past few years, you'll know what Morgan's been able to do with his players, get them to the next level, get them to the NFL. Utah's always been one of the top defenses, not in the Pac-12, but in the entire country. He's done a terrific job, and you'll find out he's truly a Ute when you see this video. And I joked with him earlier, when he's done coaching, he's probably going to be the governor of the state of Utah.
Morgan Scally, defensive coordinator, Utah.
They're ready to go. They got nothing to lose. They're playing with house money, okay?
take their will early.
Just about all assistant coaches make at least a couple of moves during their coaching career. Not Morgan Scalley. He is Utah proud. Born in Salt Lake City, Scalley was an All-American safety for the Utes. He joined the Utah staff as an administrative assistant back in 2006, and he hasn't left. In his 4th season as Utah's defensive coordinator, Scalley's defense is the only unit in the country ranked in the top 5 nationally in rushing defense, total defense, scoring defense, and pass efficiency defense. As either a coach or a player at Utah, Morgan Scalley has been part of 2 undefeated seasons, 2 BCS games, and a team ranked 26 weeks in the college football playoff poll. Today, another honor for Utah's defensive coordinator. Morgan Scalley is a Broyles Award finalist.
Appreciate it. Mark, I ain't getting into politics. I can tell you that right now. Politics, poly is many, ticks, blood-sucking animals. I don't want to... that is no offense whatsoever, by the way. You guys do an amazing job. And SEC, Pac-12, whatever it is, we have one thing in common in this room right now. That's beat Texas, okay? Right? Can I get a woo pig suey, please? Woo pig suey. Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. So honored to be up here. Grateful to the Broyles Award, the Broyles Foundation, and most importantly, the Broyles family. Key word there being family. To Betsy, Molly, David, Jeff, everyone's been a part of this, making this happen. What a class outfit. And I'm just honored to be here. I want to introduce the MVP and the head coach of the Scalley family, and that's my wife, Liz. Liz, can you stand up, please? Thank you. I feel like Forrest Gump in a lot of ways. I'm not a smart man, but I do know what love is. And I thank you, baby, for loving me and for putting up with me and all that I bring with my coaching. You are amazing. I love you and appreciate you. I got into coaching. First of all, round of applause, please, for these guys. Unbelievable. Phil, you may be 63, but brother, I wish I had hair like you. Okay, I'm losing all of mine with the stress of coaching. Just amazing people. I got into coaching because of gentlemen that gave me confidence, that taught me about what it takes to be successful in life. From my first coach ever, my dad, Bud Scalley in Little League, to my high school coaches, Tom Kingsford, Larry Wilson, Larry Gelwicks, to my college coaches, Ron McBride, who took a chance on me, offering me a scholarship to the University of Utah, to Kyle Whittingham, my defensive coordinator and the man that allowed me into the business, to Urban Meyer, and then all those that I've learned under, from John Pease to Kalani Sitake, Gary Anderson. I've been a blessed man, and when I got into the profession, Coach Whittingham pulled me aside. He said, Morgan, understand this. There are thousands of great coaches out there. Just ask them, and they'll tell you, okay? But it's all about the player. We have jobs because there are football players. It's not the other way around. And the moment you forget that, you will find yourself out of the business very quickly. It is all about the player. And if you want to know how great a coach is, you want to know about the coach, ask their player. Don't ask their AD. Don't ask their boosters. Don't ask the fans. And this is what a former player said about Coach Broyles. Coach Broyles was a life-changing influence for me, both from a personal and professional perspective. He taught me, and he taught all of his players how to be prepared for the fourth quarter, both on the field and in life. That fourth quarter may mean something different for each and every one of us, but how we handle it is what I hope my players learn from me. You could be up in life, and how you handle that with humility and class. You could be fighting for your life, and how you stare adversity in the face and punch it in the mouth. I'm grateful for a coach and a man like Frank Broyles, who's had an influence on so many people, and grateful that I'm able to stand here at this podium today and even take part in something like this. Thank you again to the family. I ain't winning this thing, but whoever does, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you.
Oh, my gosh. Oh. Is that not an impressive group of assistant coaches? Wow, holy cow. You know, I have to think that Coach Broyles, you know, hard to believe we're almost at a quarter century of this award. Wow. And I have to think that Coach Broyles, if he were here today, he would be so proud. Because his goal when I went to him with this idea, he just wanted to spotlight the assistant coach because he knew how important they were. And before we bring Molly and Betsy up to announce the winner, the reason there's a Broyles Award and the reason that Coach Broyles wanted to have this, because he knew how to find and groom assistant coaches. Coach Broyles' assistants coached in 8 Super Bowls, which is 15% of all the Super Bowls up to this point. They won 6 Super Bowls in a span of 14 years. His assistants won 5 college national championships, more than 40 conference titles, and more than 2,000 games. 2 of his assistants, Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer, are 2 of only 3 coaches in football history to win a Super Bowl and a national title. More than 25 Broyles assistants went on to become head coaches at the college or NFL level, including Joe Gibbs, 3 Super Bowl winners, Jimmy Johnson, 2 Super Bowl championships, Barry Switzer, Super Bowl championship, Raymond Berry, Johnny Majors, Hayden Fry, Jackie Sherrill, Doug Dickey, Pepper Rogers, Pat Jones, just to name a few. That's why there's one of these right here. And when you look at the 24 years of this award, to this point, through 2019, 43 Broyles Award finalists or coaches have become head coaches, 27 are active head coaches, 45% of our winners and finalists have become head coaches, and 20% of all FBS head coaches are Broyles Award finalists. But here's the deal. It's not just about becoming head coach. I love what Phil Snow said. Phil Snow's been coaching 43 years. You think he's going to stop coaching because he's not a head coach? No way. He coaches it because he loves it, and just what they were saying about impacting young men. So today, to me, is just a great day of honoring 5 amazing assistant coaches and 5 supporting spouses and girlfriends and how important they are. I wish, it always kills me at this time to have to give away only one of these. I wish we could give away 5. That's why I told these finalists, for you to make it to the 5, to you to make it to the final 5, it's amazing. But we can only give 1. And so that's what we're going to do at this point. So Molly and Betsy, if you'll come up to the front. And our winner will not speak at the podium. He will be interviewed live on our show when we conclude here. But at this point, Molly, Betsy, here we go.
This is the exciting part.
Yes. Okay. And the 2019 Broyles Award winner is Joe Brady from LSU.
Thank you for being here. Check, check. Check, check. We lose it. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. If you want to stick around as you head out, you can hear Coach Brady live on KTV. We'll finish out the show. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next year for the 25th anniversary of the Broyles Award.
Well, 3 years ago, I was a GA and, just trying to do the best job that I could as a graduate assistant and then an offensive assistant. And, I'm just so thankful to be a part of this right now.
To have so much success come your way so quickly, how do you wrap your mind around that?
I honestly haven't. It's hard to really wrap your mind around it. I just try to just attack each day the same, just the same approach. And, I think as long as you're not looking for what's next, you'll do a great job at where you're at. And so I'm just truly grateful right now.
You mentioned your relationship with your dad, who was a coach, and you're living out his dream. If he's watching out there today and you had a message for your dad, what would it be?
I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for giving me the love of this game. Thank you for being hard on me. I kind of get emotional, but, I'm just so thankful for you and for your support and just being around me and, coming to all these games and talking ball with me and just showing me, how important this game is and, and just being there for me. It's, I can only hope that I'm the same father, to my son that you are to me.
Joe, these last 24 hours or so in Little Rock, what have they been like?
Incredible. This is, we haven't had an opportunity to breathe, since the season started. And so just have an opportunity to come here and just, meet the Broyles family and just spend time here. This is my first time in Arkansas, and just the people have been amazing. And just meeting everybody and seeing just how great of a man Coach Broyles was and the impact he had on everybody. It's been an experience I'll never forget.
We talked about Steve Ensminger. What a man to allow you to grow and get an award like this and just sit in the background. Just amazing.
Yeah, look, this award right now, like I said before, this says Joe Brady / Steve Ensminger. I'm only here right now because of Steve. I'm only at LSU right now because of Steve Ensminger, and I'll never forget that. His humility, his openness, his mentality. There's not a greater person to be able to work for than Steve Ensminger. There's not someone that cares more about LSU and the success for LSU and just not wanting to take credit for it than Steve Ensminger. And I'm just so grateful for him, and I just hope, I can be him one day.
This feels like the year of Joe Burrow in college football, and I sort of want to draw some comparisons between you and him of finding success right now. And I think both sort of unassuming guys, but there's a boldness in there too.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure you can compare me to Joe Burrow. Because that guy is as elite as it gets. But Joe Burrow is special. He's a special human. The way he approaches everything, the way that the confidence he has, the composure that he has. I'm just truly grateful to be able to coach him and have the opportunity to see this firsthand, the success that he's having, and because I know that he put in the work for it.
Message for young coaches out there. You're still a young guy, but guys that want to be the next Wonder Boy here, what do they need to do?
Look, I'm far from Boy Wonder. I'm still that graduate assistant. I'm still that defensive assistant, and I try to still have that same mentality. So the biggest thing I would say is, don't ever think about what's next. If you're a defensive assistant, if you're a graduate assistant, don't think about what the next job is. Just be the best graduate assistant you can be the best offensive assistant you can be, and the rest will take care of itself.
That being said, you're going to get a lot of questions about what's next for you.
Yeah, what's next is getting ready for Oklahoma, and that's all that's on my mind right now is having the opportunity to go out with these seniors and this special year and to end it the way that we like.
All right. We got Morgan Scally got a Woo Pig. Can we get a one-time Woo Pig from an LSU coach?
We can get a Go Tigers.
Congratulations. You're a very worthy winner.
Thank you so much.
All right, our 2019 Broyles Award winner. I tried.
Yeah, that was well played. Hey, we always say the best part about the Broyles Award are hearing these backstories and how great were all of these coaches today. I think these are 5 of the best speakers we've ever seen.
Morgan Scally, in one speech, did a Forrest Gump imitation and then came in and gave us a Woo Pig Suey.
And Hafley's emotion there when he was standing up there, and you mentioned asking him about his dad. This is so special here, isn't it?
And to have it in Little Rock, and the coaches get better every year, and have Mark May here was spectacular, and just makes you feel good about where college football is going.
It does, and how about the direction that Joe Brady's career is going right now? Wow. To follow him, he'll now always have Broyles Award winner behind his name, and it'll be really fun to follow him.
Yeah, a big raise is in the works for him, in addition to the Broyles Award. How much fun was this?
Yeah, it's always fun. I always say this is one of the best things we do at Channel 7 every year.
We got to celebrate Sam Pittman yesterday, and now more assistant coaches today.
What a crazy 24 hours here in the state. This is fun.
All right, a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in to the 2019 Broyles Award, and our winner right there, the boy wonder, Joe Brady of LSU. Have a great rest of the day.